Om Vishnu Padya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamane Navise Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvise Sanya Vadi Pastachade Sachari Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshulam Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Savitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, glorious Srila Prabhupada, and we want to sincerely thank all the organizers of this conference, enlightening so many devotees all over the world about the importance of Srila Prabhupada's books and the effect it is having on the planet. So today we are looking at how Srila Prabhupada books are changing our lives. But before then, I want to break the ice break. Although it is not part of my presentation today, but it's something which I feel it should be expressed. Yesterday, in a presentation of His Holiness Bhakti Chandra Maharaj, there was the image which is always portrayed wouldn't the black Africans, poor people. Black Africans are poor people. I don't agree that Africans are poor, because we have billionaires in Nigeria who are banking the money they stole from the country outside the country in many places in the world. Majority of them are doing that. So in other words, Africans are maintaining the so-called super world. Therefore, to say that Africans are poor, I don't agree to that. If they are poor, how are they banking the money they stole from outside West Africa? This is all over Africa, but particularly in Nigeria, we have more. I have a long list of people who are banking Nigerian money outside the world, and all of them are billions. There's not thousands or millions, they are billions dollars, not Nigerian currency. There are many, up to 100 billions. So I will say that the super world are being maintained by Africans. I know of a Nigerian who is having a 3 private jet. It's just one person, 3 private jets. How is that a poor country? And I have seen also that so many foreign companies are there, and all of them are making billions every day. How is that? How is that a poor continent or poor country? And I have seen that all the foreigners who come to establish Nigeria never failed. Particularly a friend who had failed in London, he came to Nigeria, he became successful. And then I also had one friend who told me, see, if you do not succeed in business in Nigeria, you never succeed anywhere in the world. How is that a poor country? What I will say is that we have a serious bad karma, that our money are not enjoyed by our people. Yes, I also remember one friend from Sri Lanka who has a business in Nigeria. So one day he told me, see, we came to your country and so much money we are making. We are making billions, but see your people are poor. So the problem is not poverty, the problem is our karma, that we don't have access to our own gift, which is given to us by Krishna. So after saying that, I would like to come back to our point, and I will read something which is directly from Srila Prabhupada. We are printing so many books for spreading this knowledge. That must be distributed home to home, place to place, man to man. This literature must go there. If one takes one book, at least one day he will read it. Let me see, what is this book I have purchased the other day? And if he reads one line, his life will be successful. If he reads one line only, carefully. Papa said, this is such literature. This is from a lecture on Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, text 9. And the lecture was given in Hawaii on February 5th, 1975. The Papa said, read one line, the life will change. It is true. We have so many evidence or proof that the Papa's books has a potency to change anyone who just read one line, as he said. What about if you read one book? They say charity begins at home, so I'm going to begin from my own spiritual master. His Holiness Bhakti Teacher Maharaj. He has been practicing different types of spiritual things, yoga, mysticism, and then one of the teachers who were training him told him that your spiritual master has come. Therefore, my time with you has expired. You have to go to your spiritual master. He was shocked because he has faith in him that this is my guru. So Gurudev was shocked. Who is my spiritual master? I said, the leader of the Hare Krishna movement. This was spiritual master. But when Gurudev saw devotees in the street, he was not attracted. But somehow or other, he got one book, the Sri Upanishad. And he started reading the book. He was reading the book to find fault to justify his conclusion so that he doesn't go to Prabhupada as he was told that Prabhupada is his spiritual master. That was the mood. He was reading as a scholar. He was reading so he can find so many faults. But what happened? What happened after reading the book? He reading the book to find fault so that he will go back to the man and tell him that, you see, these people like this, these people like this. How can this be my spiritual master? You are my spiritual master. He read the book. He couldn't find any fault till the end. And he was finished. He was finished. He couldn't find fault with proper book. But what happened was that he became convinced that yes, this is where I belong. Only one book changed him. Just one book changed him from finding fault to becoming an addict. We know his his powerful experience in or addiction in distributing Srila Prabhupada books. It is from the potency he got from Srila Prabhupada books that he was able to take the risk he took in distributing books. His Holiness Bhakti Chairman took great risk. And his spiritual master Srila Prabhupada was very pleased with him, that he embraced him and shed tears of love on his head and told him your life is successful. The book changed him. One book changed his life to become blessed by his spiritual master. Your life is successful. For a book. And then from a book to all the books of Srila Prabhupada and a distributor of the books. Because why? He has seen the importance of the book. I'm reading the book to find fault so that I can not follow this process. I didn't succeed. And for seeing the potency of the books of Prabhupada read, he took seriously to Krishna consciousness. He was very attached and very, very enthusiastic. His enthusiasm is very magnetic. It's from the book he read that changed him. And not only changing him, he has to change so many people. So it is contagious. What did Mahatma Gandhi said? Mahatma Gandhi. He said, when difficulties, frustration, anxiety, and gloom stare on my face, and I have no direction to follow, just take Srila Prabhupada Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada Bhagavad Gita, and read it. All the fog, all the difficult, all the anxiety is finished. Transformation from reading Srila Prabhupada books. Transformation. Prabhupada himself, he said here, just read one line. You are finished. You are completely finished if you read the whole book and then you read all other books. Then we cannot forget what has happened recently. We lost a great soul whom Srila Prabhupada brought into this movement to help propagate the Krishna consciousness. His Holiness Bhakti Chaudhary Maharaj. Bhakti Chaudhary Maharaj. He also read one book, Nectar of Devotion. He was finished. Nectar of Devotion. We also know the addiction, the attachment His Holiness Bhakti Chaudhary Maharaj has for his spiritual master. When Srila Prabhupada left the body, just one, only one thing. When Srila Prabhupada left the planet, and he was put in Samadhi, Bhakti Chaudhary Maharaj was one of those who were down there with him. Tamal Krishna Goswami, Bhakti Chaudhary Maharaj, and Narayan Maharaj. They were there to set everything. And after that, everybody came out. And they were pouring sand on it. They were putting everything. Bhakti Chaudhary Maharaj remained there. He didn't come out. He remained there. So why is he staying there? Just cover me together with my Prabhupada. Let me go with him. He didn't want to come out. But by Krishna's arrangement, Tamal Maharaj looked back inside the pit. He looked back and he saw Maharaj was there. They were already, people were covering, but nobody noticed. The Maharaj is still there. And they were pouring. It's really to the chest. They already covered it up to the chest. Before Tamal Krishna Goswami said, "Hey, Maharaj, come out. Come out now. Please, come out now. Come out." And he pulled him out. One book of Prabhupada, one book of Srila Prabhupada can change anybody. Why this attachment? Why such a conviction? Why such addiction? In Nectar of Devotion of Srila Prabhupada he read. Just one book, Nectar of Devotion. I have seen many people in my village, when people leave the body, people cry, they cry, oh, I saw this, oh, this person is so dear, I can't live without you. But when they put the body in the ground and they're covering, everybody will leave. All their cry, all their sentiment ends just the moment they are going to cover the grave. Bhakti Charan Maharaj remained inside. He wants to go with his spiritual master. Just one book he read. Nectar of Devotion. His life was finished. So we can see how his life became transformed to reading the book of Prabhupada. Serving Prabhupada. You cannot serve if you don't have such a conviction. This conviction cannot just come like theoretically. It is from realizing the book which we are reading. So Prabhupada books are not ordinary. They are not just common books. People are distributing books. There are so many books sold everywhere in the world, so many bookshops, and books are being sold all over the world. So the Prabhupada books are not the same. They're not just religious books. As Srila Prabhupada's movement came from the spiritual world, so also as the Prabhupada movement came from the spiritual world, so also his literatures, his books. He came from there and he brought every of his thing from there. Therefore, his books are so powerful, extremely powerful. Why? It is identical with Krishna. That he said himself in first canto of Bhagavatam. Every page, Bhagavatam is Krishna. You see Krishna, every page. We will be able to realize this if we are scrutinizingly reading, studying Srila Prabhupada books. I am teaching these literatures. You cannot teach if you are not studying the books carefully yourself and have a practical experience about these books of Prabhupada. Practical experience, my own life. Here, I was requested to share my own experience. So we are sharing the experience of the devotees whose life have been transformed from reading Srila Prabhupada books. A few days ago, I was hearing from His Holiness Devamrit Maharaj. His interview with His Grace Gopal Bhatt Prabhu, the chairman of the SPT, Strategic Planning Team of the GBC. So a very powerful interview, very interesting, powerful, full of realizations. The interviewer was powerful and the person interviewed was also powerful. So His Holiness Devamrit Maharaj told us. He also have no interest in seeing devotees. He try as much as possible to avoid devotees. But he made a mistake like others to get one book. It's a mistake. It's a big mistake, a glorious mistake. It's a mistake that everybody should make. We all make so many mistakes in this world. The best mistake one could make is to take Srila Prabhupada books. Just make a mistake and take one book. Just one book. Even if you don't read it yourself, you are going to be affected. Somebody is going to be affected by that book. So he told us he was also avoiding devotees, and he got a book, and from one book he started getting other books. He will order. He told us how he paid so many times for Bhagavatam set. He was paying many times for Bhagavatam set. And finally he got the book. I was reading. We also know his level of Krishna consciousness. He was questioned, what is the secret that you remain very strong despite all the challenges? But what is making you so strong and you are so serene and happy always? He said, because of my job. I have addiction for job. And why the addiction for job? The books explain. The books explain. The book explain the importance of japa, chanting the holy name of Krishna. So I'm addicted to that. Reading the books and getting attracted. The more you read, the more addiction will come inside. What happened? You join the movement. you join the movement. You can't do otherwise than to join the movement. And joining the movement, he's joining the movement happily. Not just join the movement happily alone. He's contributing seriously to make the movement exist, so that others could have access to Krishna consciousness through readings of Prabhupada books. Srila Prabhupada himself recommended. A devotee had written to request guidance from Srila Prabhupada. The question was, Srila Prabhupada, I've seen so many of your disciples leaving the movement, so I wouldn't like to follow in that way. So I'm requesting you to help me. What should I do to remain fixed in Krishna consciousness? So Prabhupada replied, read my books scrutinizingly. Read the books scrutinizingly. Scrutinize the book. Don't just scan the book. Chant the name without offense. Do not take this movement teaching the philosophy of Krishna consciousness cheaply. Have faith in the holy name in Krishna, the spiritual master. You will never leave. The books are not ordinary. Yes, I know one devotee, he went to a restaurant to eat. Before he got there, some devotees have passed through there and distributed books in that restaurant. One of the people who purchased the books, he didn't take the book. They left the book there on the table. So this devotee came in there to eat, and he saw that book. He happened to go to the table, and he saw the book. He looked at it. He took the book. After reading it, he became a devotee. He didn't purchase the book directly. Someone purchased the book, but he couldn't take it. He left it there on the table. When he finished eating, finished his drinking, he left the book there. Another person came in, took the book, and became a devotee. The potency of reading Srila books. He said, just one line is sufficient to make you a Krishna conscious. We cannot forget how there was a time to show the potency of Srila books. In Russia, the devotees were photocopying just one book that they happened to get. They were making a photocopy. From the photocopy they were distributing. From that distribution, just photocopy of one book changed the life of many devotees. Because the books was banned, and they have access to only one, and they were copying that. You make a copy, make a copy. Like a treasure. People were keeping. I have one book, and keep it, something very confidential and closed. That is the potency of the Prabhupada books. Yes. So many people have all over the country, all over the world. There are so many devotees who have experience of just having access to one's Prabhupada books, and their life was changed. All over the world, there's testimony to testify to this. I got BTG magazine, Back to Godhead magazine. Or the Facebook in this corner, Back to Godhead magazine. Back to Godhead, I just got Back to Godhead magazine. That day, I read the page to page. I didn't drop the book. As soon as I took the Back to Godhead magazine, I didn't drop. Nothing has any meaning to me that day. Only to read this magazine. I read it from page to page. I dropped it, and I remember that I had gotten one before. So I went to my bag, searched for it, I got it, and I read it completely, page to page. What next? Go to the temple to search for where this book is coming from. When I go to the temple, I bought 2 books. One, A Part of Perfection, and The Science of Self-Realization. My brother was reading The Science of Self-Realization. I was reading A Part of Perfection. After BTG Back to Godhead magazine, the next book I read was Part of Perfection. And I read it and read it and read it and read it, mark it, mark all. Everything was so sweet, so meaningful. I have a difficulty from childhood, coming from what I would say, a mystical background. I have seen so many mysterious things which are beyond explanation. So many powerful personalities leaving their body. So my question was, where are they going? In Africa, we have a belief. We have a belief of karma. And we have belief of reincarnation. Every African, black African, we know this. There is karma, there is reincarnation. We have this belief. We are fully convinced that there is karma and there is reincarnation. We don't have a scriptural backing. When I was seeing all these things happening, powerful personalities leaving their body. So my question was, where are they going? Because I'm not seeing them coming back. Yeah, there is reincarnation, but how? What is the proof that this is the process, how things are working? That we don't have a philosophy to back it. You can't believe it, or you believe it, whichever way. Some people say, can't believe it. So if I don't believe it, then why are you telling me? Therefore I'm saying, you believe it. That this thinking about what happens after death, such an issue in my head that sometimes I don't sleep in the night, thinking about it throughout the whole night. Because I want to know. For this, I studied Bible very deeply in college. I was not satisfied. To make it worse, when I asked my Bible teacher, it's an American lady, and I asked a Bible teacher, she said, "You are a backslider. You are asking a question outside the Bible." It's going to say bloop. You bloop. You're a backslider. You're not a bona fide Christian. Why are you asking a question outside the Bible? That disturbed me the most. I stopped going to church. I started making my own research to find. I want to know what happened to the souls when one dies. What happened? It was an issue for me. Like, I don't even sleep in the night. Sometimes I don't eat in the night. Very disturbed about this. So who to ask? The teacher who is teaching the Bible is supposed to know, and she is chastising me to have to ask a question like this. I'm not a good Christian. I'm a backslider. So I stopped going to the church. But I remember what happened in our Bible study of Saul. Saul. He was persecuting Christians, and one day on his activity, Bible said that he was struck down, and a voice from the heaven came, "Saul, why are you persecuting me?" Say, "Who are you?" Say, "I'm your Lord." "Why are you persecuting me?" From that day, Saul was transformed. He became a Christian to preach. Right from that lesson, that was an act of apostles lesson. So I started praying seriously. And that prayer led me to have contact with Dr. Godhead magazine. I read that. Then, Part of Perfection. Then, Science of Self-Realization, I was finished. Finished, completely finished. Yes, this is what I'm looking for. So, my anxiety, which was burning that nobody could cure, both in the college, both in the studying of the Bible, became immediately solved just reading the proper books. Immediately I find solution to my problem. So you shouldn't be surprised that I have addiction to study proper books and to teach them, because I know what it has done to me. And people who are healers, They were sick before. Because naturally you develop compassion to help others. In the past, you see, doctors are very kind people, very kind doctors, are very kind-hearted people. But things have changed. But before, when goodness was prominent, doctors are very kind people, very kind. Because they know the importance of pain. So healers, they know the importance of pain. Therefore, they would like also to become a healer so they can take care of people. So knowing the importance of Srila Prabhupada books, what it has done to me, like other personalities I have mentioned, see the addiction to Krishna consciousness, see their life in Krishna consciousness. He's holding Bhakti Maharaj, he's holding Devamrita Maharaj, he's holding Bhakti Charu Maharaj, and many other personalities I have mentioned. If you go, you see so many of this testimony from many devotees, how the lives became transformed from studying Srila Prabhupada books. A day will never pass. Not a day will pass without reading Prabhupada books. That is my vow. A day will never pass without reading. Not just reading, study, scrutinizing. And you can imagine the potency which is inside scrutinizing these literatures. The potency which is there. Because by studying these books, one is connected to Krishna who is speaking, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Arjuna Uvacha, Sukha Uvacha, Maitreya Uvacha. One is connected to these personalities, and in the purpose, Srila Prabhupada has quoted so many acharyas. Jiva Goswami, Srila Bhakti Saraswati, Srila Bhakti Thakur, Vishwanath Chakrabarti, Bale Bidabhusan, Sridhara Swami, Bhugarba Goswami, and many all of them. They are all loaded in Srila Prabhupada books. So if we read Prabhupada books, from my own experience, I have read other commentaries. I've read other commentaries, other acharyas' commentaries. My experience is that the commentaries of all the acharyas are inside Prabhupada's purport. This is my experience. After studying all, Srila Prabhupada has put everything in one place. Like Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, a custom. In one place, I'll show you everything. This is Srila Prabhupada books. In one place. You have association with all our acharyas. In one place. This is Srila Prabhupada's purport. This is book. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada books has potency to change us, and it's changing. Why would we interfere with the Prabhupada's ecstasy? So the Prabhupada said his purport is ecstasy. We have ecstasies from different acharyas. So Prabhupada's ecstasy is his purport. Why should we change Srila Prabhupada's words? It's a dilution. It's a dilution. Whatever is there in Prabhupada's book, it has been there, and it is that thing that made us to become devotees. So I would prefer it should remain as it is. Well, It is natural that we are going to act according to our taste. Like when one goes to a supermarket, you're not going to buy everything other people are buying. You're going to buy only the thing that you have gone to the market to buy. So the purpose books like a supermarket. Everything is inside. Just buy what you have to buy and do not create a situation for others not to buy what they have to buy. Let people go to market and buy what they want to buy. Purpose books are sufficient. They have sufficient everything that we need in our Christian consciousness. For anyone to become successful in Christian consciousness, purpose book contains all. That is sufficient to make anyone a pure devotee, qualified to go back home, back to Godhead. Himself, he said that if you stick to this process, you'll be successful. Of course, there are so many confidential things which are to be carefully presented, but those confidential things are not general. They're not open things. They're small, that not very many people will see it. The majority of people are going to see what is necessary for us to take, that will facilitate our Christian consciousness, to give us the perfection we are looking for in our Christian consciousness. I am 100% confident that anyone who reads purpose books will have the feelings that others are having. When I ask my students their experience after study, everyone has the same thing. I didn't know. I have no knowledge about our scriptures. It is now I'm understanding, or I'm seeing what Prabhupada has put inside these books. So profound, very deep, very powerful, and it is purifying. We are looking for good association, very proper books. From where you are, excuse me, from where you are, read proper books, you have association. I'm not saying that we should not go for other physical association, but you get a deep association from studying the proper books. I'm confident of that. What is good is always good at all times. This is how we look at transcendence. Transcendence is not something which is temporal. It works for some time, it works for some people. No, this is something that works for everyone, and it works at all times. So purpose books are bona fide at all times, and it will help anyone from any level. Anyone from any level can become Krishna conscious by studying the purpose books. Anyone. I have practical experience that many illiterate people learn how to read from Srila Prabhupada books. I have evidence, practical evidence. You have, right? Yes. From Prabhupada books. How? the potency the book carries. It is not ordinary books. If Krishna is our supreme father, then why should it be a surprise that you study Srila Prabhupada books and become Krishna conscious? From any level. From any level. Anyone can become Krishna conscious. So, it is my honest request that we should take interest in studying Srila Prabhupada books. And as the time people recommended, don't study, just read the books on your own. We should go and study our little Prabhupada's books under a teacher. That's the process. One reason for that is that to understand the scriptures is not just about our academic ability. We need to go and study so that we can be disciplined to become very humble and surrender to the process. In that way, the scripture will be revealed to us. This is the process. And we are happily advising and encouraging all of us to study the books, because the recent survey by the SPT, strategic planning team, shows that the whole Hare Krishna movement is only 2% that they are studying the books. Only 2%. So it's not just because this is the whole ISKCON. Not just because Africans are poor, they're not getting money to buy books. Therefore, the books will be given free. That's why they're not studying. The whole ISKCON world, only 2% read books. So ISKCON is not only black Africans, it's the whole world. Only 2%. That is not a good percentage. No student would like to have 2% in his high exam. Would like to have 100%. So we should take interest to study these books. So this conference is very good because there's a chance for us to encourage every devotee to know the treasure which is inside the proper books, so that we can take shelter and help ourselves to grow and become successful in our Krishna consciousness. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. I'm not hearing. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Yes, he is practicing. He is practicing. He stopped for some time, and later he picked it back again, and he requested for a beat, which I gave to him, so he's chanting. Yes. People read the books and they did not follow the principle. That has to do with their previous life. That is karma. For example, I had a devotee who had been coming to the temple for some time and is not joining the temple. One day, Srila Prabhupada, he gave his dhoti to one devotee to give to him. So, and Prabhupada traveled. So when the devotee came, the temple president gave him the dhoti, Srila Prabhupada's dhoti, and said, Srila Prabhupada says, we'll give you this. He refused to take it. So I won't take. Why? The devotee knew that Srila Prabhupada is giving me the dhoti, is requesting me to surrender. And he was not ready to surrender. Therefore, he didn't take the dhoti. Like in my own case, I first got Back to Godhead magazine. I didn't read it for 1 year. It is after a year that I got another another Back to Godhead magazine. And I read the 2 Back to Godhead magazine at the stretch. I didn't stop. I read it completely, page to page. And that was the beginning. Why I couldn't read it the first time? My piety was not enough. But having come in contact with it, just by looking and touching, Prabhupada gave some purification. That the next time I was promoted. By Sir Prabhupada created us. He created our fortune. So my fortune was created by touching the Back to Godhead magazine. So much so that the next time I got the magazine, I was able to read the 2 magazines at the stage. Similarly, when we come to Krishna consciousness and our karma is still very, very heavy, we may not take to it now. But people who have gotten the book now, they are not coming or not taking advantage, they are not coming to the movement, not practicing. Because they have touched the book, their fortune has already been created. They will soon or later come back to it. That is sure. By using my own experience. And there are many other experiences like that. Oh, I'm not hearing. Not hearing. Okay, it's coming now. It's back. Yes, now I'm hearing. I was not hearing before. Now I'm hearing. Yes. Yes, that was my main reason why I brought it in, because this it's a wrong projection they are creating, a building within Africa. If I want to go into detail, there are so many other things. For example, the cell phone you are using, the material you are using in making the cell phone you are using comes from Africa. The whole world is using a cell phone, but the material is not coming from the third world, from the super world. It's coming from the third world. So how do we change this? It is very, very, very difficult to do. The only thing we can do is to ourselves who are devoted now, take seriously to our own Krishna consciousness and create a sustainable, viable, vibrant Krishna conscious community where we can produce our own food, produce everything ourselves, and bring back the culture of communism. That's not material communism, spiritual communism, living for each other. If you bring in this, we will show the whole world, not only the African, we will show the whole world that it is possible to facelift the face of the black Africans in the whole world, and also the whole world. We can change, because if we study the Prabhupada books very carefully and apply it, we are going to transcend the body and start seeing things on a spiritual platform, which is the main reason of Christian consciousness. And that's the beginning of our philosophy. We are not these bodies. We are different. Philosophically, theoretically, we get this, but in reality, majority of us have never understood this. But we can do something by making it a reality in our own lives. Then we can pass it on to others. Yes, it is a very big issue. Last year I was in Brazil, and in the college we were trying to share the philosophy of Christian consciousness, and I could see the difficulties with the children. I didn't speak. I waited for some time, and everybody was looking at me. So I was looking at them. Everybody was looking at me, because they were not acting properly. So I didn't speak. I waited. So when they gave me attention, she was speaking. I said, no, I cannot speak because you are speaking. So if you want me to speak, then you should keep quiet. Until you keep quiet, I will not speak. So the teacher have to control him to be quiet before I start to speak. So it's a problem. So I use that to see what is happening around the world. The children are not respectful. The children are completely out of place. So we have a serious issue, because the children are the future of any organization, the whole movement, the whole world. So in a situation like this, they'll have to devise means how to control it. If they don't want to read, they have no interest to read. Even now, even the adult, we are not reading. I mentioned before, from the survey 𝐒𝐿𝐴𝐺 made, only 2% of devotees are reading. 2%, the whole world, which is very low. And now we are seeing that the children who are coming doesn't have interest also. What's the problem? The problem is the social media. It is very, very destructive, and the parents are not helping the situation by exposing the children to television. That before a child grows up, the child has been fed with thousands of horrible movies. So we are planting hostility into the life of children. Therefore, we shouldn't be surprised to expect what we are seeing with the children. But the solution is how to deal with these people is to start training them about moral behavior. Moral behavior. We have to start teaching people about morality. If we really want to culture people, we have to you have to teach them how to behave properly before we start teaching anything, talking anything else. We have to be groomed first. Then we can do whatever else, whatever we have to teach them. If we don't do this, it will continue like this, and we are going to have a horrible future, which is already at hand. Morality. We have to begin by teaching our children, training our children in morality. how we should respect the elders, how we should behave, how we should speak, even how to eat. Even if it is vulgar, but how to eat. This culture, our parents gave it to us. But today, it is not happening. In a Lagos temple where I stay, the Lagos temple, it is our principle that children are not giving prasadam without their parents sitting with them. Only if the parents are with the children, then they can be served prasadam. Why? The parents have to teach the children how to eat. Even to that point. So if you don't train them, they will be wild. And philosophy will never change them. So we have to do something practical to help them. Morality. Right. Yes. Oh, he has a very powerful influence on us. We didn't accept him as our spiritual master because he's black like us. That is not the reason. It is because of the style of his leadership. The style of his leadership was so protective that everybody felt very, very confident in his leadership, in his protection. I give an example. He is a spiritual master that anyone can go to him at any time with any problem. He will not see you as a problem. He will not see you as a disturbance. He is ready to address any issue and leave you with peace. So everybody loved him and accepted him as a capable leader who has our interest in his mind. For example, I was addicted to music. One of the things that the book of Prabhupada changed me for. And that it delayed me in moving to the temple because of the music. And a Gurudev looked at me and he told me, stop this music. So stop it. Because it is good for you for fame, it is good for you for money, but it's not good for you for your spiritual life. So he could see my future. Who will not give his life to a person who can protect you now and also protect you in the future? So he has a dominant influence on our consciousness in our life, that we have a full respect and understand, yes, this person cares for me. Therefore, I should give my life to him. We know that. And he knows that he has led us in such a way that we don't have a slave mentality. He told us, I don't want you to have this slave mentality. He did. So you see that in South Africa, the problem we have in South Africa, the problem we have in East Africa, we don't have it in West Africa. 100% we don't have it. Because of his leadership and how he has trained us. Even when he has a difficulty that we are not meeting up to the standard he wanted, I'll bring foreigners to come and rule it. The next moment he has changed his mind, because he knows that I don't want you to be slave again.
Service to the disciples of His Holiness Bhakti Swami Maharaj in their
Yes.
as you have the experience of losing your dearest.
It is. It's a good question for me because my spiritual master left, so I know what it is. So I can share my experience with with them. I first of all sympathize with all the disciples who are now bereft of the physical presence of the spiritual master. The first thing I would like to share is that The relationship between the spiritual master and the disciple is eternal. For a bona fide spiritual master, is eternal. And the spiritual master is not just a physical form, physical personality which you see alone. It does not end there. Our relationship is beyond the physical, spiritual. So His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj may have left physically, but He is present with us spiritually. So we should pray to Him for help. We should pray to Him for guidance. We should pray to Him for shelter. And I showed you from my own experience that He will still teach you in a dream. He will appear to you, give you instructions. He will still guide. He will respond to us any prayer we make, like we are doing for our special master. And we have that experience. I'm sure that you also have the same experience. So we should go beyond the physical, yes, which is painful that we don't have it again. But better than this is the spiritual connection with the spiritual master. So we should maintain our connection. We shouldn't feel that the Guru has left now, so I'm empty. No devotee is alone. No devotee is alone. We have so many helpers who are ready, waiting, and able to guide us, to help us, including our spiritual master. And physically, we also have a senior God brother, God sisters who are there that will continue. In a family, when the father is not there, the senior brother is there, the senior sister is there. They are there. And also in ISKCON, we have so many uncles and aunts, so many. So we still have shelter. So we have nothing to be despondent for. Of course, physically, we should cry, we should feel the pain, but at the same time, we should not be morose. I didn't hear you. Okay, now I'm hearing. Sorry.
I was caught by the mute button. The question is, Africans
Yes.
naturally quiet. How can we tap into this quiet need to encourage
In Africa, there is community. Everything is based on community. We live for each other, which is the nature of Krishna consciousness. From my village, I came to Krishna consciousness. I could see the same thing. My father has 4 wives, and one wife will cook for everybody. So when you come to ISKCON, I'm seeing that one person is cooking for 50 people, 100 people. It's community. So everything is very close with the spiritual culture. So, and now we have the philosophy to back everything which we do. So it is very, very, very important for us to take advantage of our background, African background, which we have. It is that of community. To communicate easily with each other, to work together as a team of brothers and sisters. It is natural for Africans. It is natural, which is the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. Be your brothers keepers, be your sisters keepers. We have one Father. One Father. And we are going to the same place, the kingdom of God, the same place. There is no question of that tribe and this tribe. It is Krishna's tribe. That's all. This we are building. So if you, like I came to Krishna consciousness, I didn't see any difficulty with deities because my father has all this fetish. I didn't have any difficulty with deities. And black African will never have difficulty with deity, only because of Christianity. Christianity has taken so much thing away from Africa. It took away our heritage. But in Krishna consciousness, we can bring everything back because everything is here. Now we have the Bhagavatam, we have the Bhagavad Gita, we have the rich culture, the spiritual culture, which is encompassing. It covers everything and it covers everybody. We eat together, we cook together, we sleep together, we do everything together. Because we are going to the same place. So let us maintain this oneness, and we'll be successful in our Christian consciousness. Actually, we're supposed to be making better advancement in Christian consciousness because the background we have, which correspond with the Christian consciousness. This is how I feel from my own experience. Okay.
That was very enlightening, actually. There's one last question, Maharaj, that it's actually just two parts.
Yes, it's echoing somewhere. It's a voice, but it's echoing, so some people are hearing that. Srila Prabhupada recommended that we should read Bhagavad Gita first, then Bhagavatam, then 𝐃𝐚𝐦𝐤𝐢. But our scriptures are completely independent. Completely. In the sense that you can read Bhagavatam, you can read 𝐃𝐚𝐦𝐤𝐢, you can read Nectar of Devotion, you can read all the small books. Because we have different background, so some people may easily understand. So I will suggest that according to Srila Prabhupada, we will read Bhagavad Gita first. Like I studied from small books, so you can also read small books, but that does not disqualify us from reading Bhagavad Gita. My spiritual master taught me how to read Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam at the same time. Very, very sweet. Very, very encouraging and very sweet. In this way also you move very fast. And you can also have a very good understanding, because you'll be able to have something which corresponds from Bhagavad Gita to Bhagavatam, then to 𝐶𝐚𝐤𝐬. When you join them together, if you're going to present a lecture and you join them together, a quote from here, that complement each other, you have a very beautiful presentation anywhere, anytime. And it will also help us to even read faster, because it brings a lot of enthusiasm in studying the scriptures together. Or we'll also read together. It's also very, very encouraging. So if we have access to Bhagavad Gita first, you should go ahead and finish it, then we'll go to Bhagavatam. And if we are thinking the time is short, we want to maximize it, read the two books at the same time, there's no problem. Or if you want to read 𝐶𝐚𝐤𝐬 first, so you read it. Bhakti Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada said, read Bhagavatam, read 𝐶𝐚𝐤𝐬, come and read Bhagavatam, then you can understand 𝐶𝐚𝐤𝐬. Because 𝐶𝐚𝐤𝐬 or Bhagavatam is inside 𝐶𝐚𝐤𝐬. So they complement each other. So anyone which want to read first, you should go ahead. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you.